Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. In this video I want to cover another exciting project, and that's Request Network. Now these guys are creating a decentralized network for payment requests. A simple idea, but this is an industry that's ripe for disruption. So what is Request Network? This is built on top of Ethereum and allows anyone, anywhere to request payments, but in a secure fashion without the need for those third parties, so think PayPal, that charge high fees. Now, this is all done on an immutable, authentic ledger. We know the benefits of blockchain, and this allows for integration and compliance with different countries around the world that have different, taxation and laws. It's also going to be pretty flexible to allow for the integration with a number of different other blockchain-based projects and traditional software as well. So plenty of use cases here: online payments, one-touch pay, invoicing, auditing, Internet of Things, but transparency. And we know what blockchain's trying to do, this whole movement about budget transparency. What are governments spending money on? Now, it was only yesterday when I tweeted this, $21 trillion has gone missing, and that's what we're trying to bring, that transparency and accountability to government and through blockchains. So exciting stuff. Think about all the paper invoices that you get, double billing. The phone company tells you haven't paid that bill yet, you pay it again, then it takes weeks to get that refund. So all this stuff's going to be on a blockchain, on that immutable ledger. So the team's been around for a couple of years now, working on a project called Monetus. The core 6 members then changed about 12 months ago to start working on the Request Network. The team then has since expanded, a strong team with good experience. Check out their LinkedIn's there for more information. But they were the first ICO to be incubated at the Y Combinator. So they've helped over 1,400 startups, now worth billions of dollars. They've got some strong partners here: PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the biggest companies in the world; Kyber Network, decentralized exchange; iExec, we've covered on the channel, decentralized computing; QuantStamp, smart contract auditing. So already making some great partnerships here, working with good projects in the background, and you'll see why, because this is all going to tie into that Kyber framework or network that sits on top of the Ethereum protocol itself. So to start off with, they had a lot of pushback that they were only a white paper and just an idea. They didn't have a lot of devs, but they've already achieved a lot on their roadmap. There's some great names here: Stonehenge, Colosseum, and let's dive over to the white paper to have a bit more of a look. So like a lot of projects now, they're waiting for Ethereum to scale to create proof of concepts that, this will all work with Plasma. So Plasma's blockchains within blockchains, and you can start to make specific rules for your blockchain as well. So that's going to be very user-friendly for them to tweak what they need to work in the protocol base layer itself, which all the apps are built on top of, which I'll show you shortly. But they're wanting to make the switch to proof of stake. So at the moment, Ethereum's proof of work, the same as Bitcoin. We can only do 10 to 15 transactions per second. If we want this to be a payment processing layer, we need to do thousands of transactions per second. Now, that's not even to mention all the other things that they want to integrate here. So tax extensions, down payment, late fees, all these things are going to be running on smart contracts that are going to be requiring the Request Network token, fees to be paid. Those fees are then burnt as it currently stands. But if they make the switch to proof of stake, they might change that model to rewarding the token holders. So all this remains to be seen yet, guys. Keep your finger on the pulse. At the moment, it doesn't obviously explain in detail because they're waiting to see what Ethereum does when it scales. They also want to give that REQ token voting and governance rights, link in with the Internet of Things I'll talk about as well. Plenty happening there. So this is how it all works. That's the Ethereum base layer in the middle of the blockchain. And this is the Request Network core layer that sits on top of the Ethereum layer. We then have all these different extensions that we can make, and then the apps that are built on top of that can use these different features. So think, QuickBooks for your invoicing, accounting, tax time, external wallets and payment providers, Coinbase, government auditing. So this is why they've started to partner with projects like Aragon, Civic, 0x. So all these good projects working with each other on top of the protocol. It's very exciting to see, and they're already ticking a lot off. So I'll dive into that now. So I said they're waiting to scale, but it doesn't mean you can't already use this. So this is what it looks like here. You can request an amount, put in the payer's Ethereum address, and type the reason why, and then it will pop up like this here. So John Doe, he's a full stack developer. He's done a couple of days of work. This is how much you owe him here, and you can just click pay now. So nice and user friendly. But what they've recently done only a few days ago have activated a number of tokens in Bitcoin to be supported on mainnet. So now if you want to get paid in Bitcoin or pay someone in Bitcoin, all this stuff is possible. If you want to get paid in gold, they've got the DGX token. If you're worried about fluctuating crypto prices, you can get paid in the MakerDAI stablecoin now. So very cool stuff. It's all starting to come together. So this is a look at their payments gateway, guys. Have a play around with this if you want. But this is where it's all going in the future. So they're trying to compete with these buttons that you see on the websites here to pay with Visa and MasterCard, gift cards, promotional codes. And a lot of people were thinking, this is months or years away when they read the white paper last year. But when I was researching, we've already got this working, and this is an Australian company. So congratulations to Part Hunter here. I think it's an automobile spare parts company in Australia, but you'll see here PayPal, credit card, and then the pay with cryptocurrency option. This brings up, the amount of Ethereum, a nice big button to click, and you can pay with requests. So this is already out there, guys. I know they're trying to work on more plugins and APIs. This is the WooCommerce plugin. I think they're working on the Shopify one soon, but it's great to see this in action and already achieving so much. So this is the full circle of how it all works on the back end, I guess. So here's the request network. Currently, we're burning those REQ tokens as well. I spoke about moving to proof of stake. But let's say we have a supplier here. They make a request for someone to pay, and they only want to accept fiat. So then we have the developers that are creating these gateways in the middle here. They're charging a fee, but obviously this fee is not getting charged to the customer. So rather than them paying the fee with PayPal or whatever, this is much lower here. So they can pay in Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever they like. Then that goes through the payment gateway here. The person said they want to receive fiat. So this is all done by the smart contracts. All those fees and smart contracts are running on the REQ network. The fees are getting paid in REQ. This might move to proof of stake in the future. All this is automated. So this person is happy with the service they're getting and maybe paying the fee to the developer and all that sort of thing, because of how much time this is going to save them at the end of the financial year, tax time, if they get audited. Okay, this is all going to be done by the REQ network, and that's what they're working on, all the other utilities that this is going to be able to provide. So very exciting stuff. This is a $5 trillion a day industry that they're looking to disrupt. There's obviously a lot of competition with Amisego. They can work with Amisego in some ways, and in some ways they're competition. But all cryptos are trying to build more user-friendly interfaces, payment gateways, and all that sort of thing, guys. But I think they've already achieved a lot. I'm looking forward to watching this one going forward. Just be mindful that they still have, a lot of that total supply that hasn't yet come into circulating supply. We're waiting to see the model if it goes to proof of stake and how new coins will be created and all that sort of thing. But there's plenty to like about this. It got up to $1.10 in the big alt run. I picked some up today under 20 cents. I'm looking forward to see what this one can do going forward. And I think that all those use cases that we see that they're trying to cater for are really a great use of blockchain technology and industry that's ripe for disruption. So I hope you've enjoyed that video, guys. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share these videos around, and as always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Cheers.